G'day, I'm Nurchin, and today we're travelling to the frosty mountains of Canada to find the Waheela. Eh? In the Northwest Territories of Canada, you can find the Nahanni National Park. In this park you can find the Nahanni Valley, also known as the Valley of Headless Men. The valley has been surrounded in superstition for centuries, after numerous reports of missing people and the discovery of decapitated corpses. This is a real place, a valley where they just keep finding decapitated bodies. I bet Logan Paul's booking his tickets already. What caused these strange deaths is still regarded as an unsolved mystery, but legend has it there's a creature that lurks those woods, a relic from the past hidden from man, locally known as the Waheela. It looks like a giant white wolf, documented by cryptozoologist Ivan T. Sanderson as a direwolf, but that isn't quite right. While it looks like a giant wolf, it actually shares more characteristics with a bear. Its head is large and wide, and its ears are small and round. It has white shaggy fur, a thick tail, short legs, and its feet are splayed out. It's actually this last part that tells us quite a lot. See, wolves walk on the tips of their paws, while bears walk on the palm of their hands. This ties the Waheela closer to a bear dog than to a direwolf. It also behaves differently from a wolf. It hunts alone like a bear rather than in a pack. Obviously this isn't unheard of in wolves, but it appears much more common in the Waheela. I mean, I get it. It can be hard to make new friends when your hobbies include killing every new person you meet. Ah, and finally, best till last. The Waheela supposedly decapitates human prey. This is strange. Not for bears, not for wolves, just in general. These victims weren't ripped to shreds, they were usually found in one piece. You know, minus their head. Rumour has it the Waheela's bite is so strong it can take the head clean off. It's pretty cool, and I think there's a chance the Waheela may actually exist. I mean, you can't have a cryptid without some serious exaggerations, but in the case of the Waheela, most of them are fairly explainable. But first, you'll need to know about where it lives. It's a lovely place, the Valley of Headless Men. But some believe the headless shenanigans started well before the Waheela even appeared. Unfortunately, not all of this is well documented, so bear with me. Supposedly, there was a tribe of indigenous warriors that had a habit of decapitating trespassers. Some people considered the land to be cursed and were more than happy to leave them alone. Until one day, the tribe vanished. Tribes sometimes die off or migrate, but no one's entirely sure what happened to these people. Flash forward to the 19th century, and prospectors are combing the land in search of gold, when a couple of bodies rock up in the valley, missing their heads. Some people thought their mysterious death was because they found a pocket of gold. More prospectors started to wander in, and more heads started to go missing. But what happened to these people? The most likely answer seems to be other tribes killing these people and continuing the superstition of the valley, but no tribes were reportedly living in the area at the time, probably because of its horrible track record. No one could figure it out, but the natives knew. It must be the demon that protects the land. It must have been the Waheela. Maybe the Waheela entered the valley and wiped out the tribe. Maybe the Waheela was there the entire time and its beheadings were misattributed to the tribe. Either way, our main source of information are the stories, and depending on the story, depends whether the Waheela or the tribesmen are blamed, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Okay, we know what it does and we know where to find it, but the question is it real? Well, for millions of years, a family of animals existed called the Amphicyonidae, large carnivorous mammals that relate all the way to the modern wolf and bear. While this family is now extinct, it's possible the Waheela is a surviving member of this family. When considering the possibility of a species that remains undetected, there are some basic questions you need to answer. First, discovery. If this species exists, why hasn't it been found yet? Well, not only is the valley huge, but it's been considered cursed land for centuries. People have avoided this area for years, and when they do venture forth, they've found caves and tunnels that run deep into the earth. Or they don't come back at all. Secondly, diet. A creature of this size would have to consume insane amounts. Well, in the case of bears, it's not uncommon for them to eat vegetation when they can't find enough prey. In the case of the panda, it eats solely bamboo. And here's another theory. When a creature is missing essential vitamins or minerals from its diet, it's not uncommon for them to only eat part of a fruit or a body. Prehistoric creatures were built slower and stronger, meaning the Waheela probably couldn't catch modern prey. I mean, look at their stubby little legs. So, to survive, it could have converted to a plant-based diet that maybe didn't have all the nutrition that it needs. The brain of a mammal is very rich in omega-3 fatty acids. It's just a theory, but the Waheela may have been decapitating its prey to balance its new diet, possibly coming back for the body later if it felt like it, which would explain both the decapitations and the entirely missing bodies. And these old creatures were built tough. I wouldn't be surprised if one could consume a head or a body, bones and all. And if the creatures do consume bones, it could explain why we've never found the body of one, constantly consumed by previous generations, but I'll admit that doesn't seem likely. Now, with the limited information I have, this is all guesswork with some creative liberties. Unless we ever find one of these creatures, we may never know how they work. But I do have a theory that uses more tangible evidence. If you listen to the description of the creature and consider where it's being found, one of the first thoughts that might come to your head is polar bear. I assume the native Canadians would know what a polar bear is, but some of the later sightings could be chalked up to the creature. The Waheela may have been a creature from thousands of years ago, remembered through cultural memory, and attributed to polar bear sightings and the murder of prospectors in the valley. It's worth noting the witnesses also could have known what a polar bear is, but this wouldn't be the first time a cryptid was born out of the straight up misidentification of another species. In conclusion, I don't know if this thing exists. We have generations of native Canadians claiming its existence, and to be honest, we can't really prove otherwise. I think the decapitations are misattributed aspects from the tribes that used to live there, but even that isn't entirely impossible. With the rapidly changing climate, places like the Valley of Headless Men are quickly heating up and endangering cold climate animals. If the Amphicyonidae does exist still, I hope we get a chance to find it before we wipe them out. So here's to the Waheela, wherever you are. I hope the human race hasn't wiped you out and you find a chance to get ahead. I'm gonna find a VB to wash that down.